Hey guys, what up? So this video is brought to you by Dev Mountain Coding Bootcamp. If you guys are interested in going to a coding bootcamp, make sure you give them a look. The link is in the description tab below. They're focusing on all the latest web development technologies so that you can get your foot in the door as quickly as possible. All right, so in this video, we're looking at the top 10 programming languages to learn in 2019. I always come out with this video like towards the end of the year. I know we're not really at the end of the year, but honestly, it's just what I do, I guess. So anyway, the top 10 programming languages to learn. It's based on feedback. If you guys have watched this channel for several years, like it's one of the videos I do every year, and like it gets a lot of comments and generation and everything. So every year I try to put a decent amount of thought into it. This year, hopefully it's enough thought, but you'll see. Let's see. I always try to give that caveat as I go into it. I'm like, you might not like it, but whatever. All right, so top 10 languages. Number 10 I have on here. So basically I said any sort of JVM language, which is the Java Virtual Machine. So like at different times, like Scala is not hot right now, but like, I mean, maybe Scala is going to be hot in like 2 years, but Scala is on the JVM, as well as Kotlin. Like right now, the hotness is Kotlin. Everybody's doing Android development in it. But Clojure and Groovy are still popular as well. So any sort of JVM language, I think should be situated somewhere on this list. Number 9 is SQL. This is something that I actually don't normally tell people like to learn, but honestly, like this is like, it's not really a programming language, but it is a structured query language, which is what it stands for. But it's something that is just, it's so important. It's one of the most important skills to have, I think, definitely in like a corporate environment. And when you don't have it, like, I mean, you definitely just don't have it. You know, it's like the Washington Post, like if you don't get it, you don't get it. But like SQL is certainly, it's important. And if you could take the time to actually learn raw SQL, use like Transact SQL if you're using SQL Server or something like that, like that's going to go a long way for you in a corporate environment. So number 8 is Swift. This is the proprietary language that came out. It was created by Apple. It came out a couple years ago. It barely makes this list, honestly, but I'm still going to mention it. So you have to put some sort of Apple language out there. So I would mention Swift over Objective-C. Some people are going to be like, where's Objective-C? Well, it's not on this list. I'm going to use Swift or Objective-C interchangeably. Number 7 would be Golang. This continues to be a language that's gaining popularity. It's not just me, guys. If you go into like the GitHub trends and you look at the actual developers and what skills they have and things like that, huge trends in Go and a lot of libraries and things being written in it. Number 6 is TypeScript. This is another thing. So the JavaScript superset language, it brings sanity to JavaScript. It brings type safety. It brings classes, interfaces, things that normally don't exist in JavaScript. And I guess you could make the argument that, you know, JavaScript now supports classes with, I guess, what, ES6 or something. But anyway, it's still not really a class-based language. But TypeScript does bring sanity to JavaScript, and it's being adapted and picked up like everywhere. So a lot of major projects that were written in raw JavaScript or using a lot of jQuery or whatever, they're being rewritten using tools like Webpack and Babel and TypeScript, and that's just what's happening. So really, it's two different routes you could go. You're going to go JavaScript with Babel type of thing, or you're going to go TypeScript, and a lot of people are choosing TypeScript. So number 5 is Java. Because you can't deny the amount of jobs and everything that are out there, like I put Java number 5. A lot of people are going to be like, well, you should have it number 1 because it's the most popular language, or at least the most widely used, like 3 billion devices using it, most jobs, things like that. But I put it number 5 on here because there's a ton of Java developers out there. There's going to be Java jobs probably until the day that we all die, for everybody that's watching this video. But like as far as like being like a hip or like a great language, like I think it's good. Like I want to recommend obviously languages that are going to benefit people as far as getting into the industry. So that's why you have to put Java on there if somebody wants to take the time to actually learn it. Number 4 is Python. So data sciences, machine learning. Python is just exploding in popularity. Also, it's used in webs, like the web frameworks like Django and things like that. So Python is it's one of the best beginner languages out there. It's by default with the Raspberry Pi. It's it's just popular. Like I got asked to write a children's Python book last year. Actually, it's something that I wanted to do, and unfortunately, I had to back out at the last minute. But Python is something that like even kids can pick up. Number 3 is going to be C++. This is kind of arguable, I guess. Like, and really, I would like to say like C and C++ kind of interchangeably. I know they're not the same language, but C++ is built on top of C, and obviously most other languages are as well. But the fact is like the C++ and the raw C programmers that are out there, that like there's going to be heavy demand for that. If you want to go down that route. So if you're going to be making like software applications or like gaming frameworks, things like that, you're going to be doing probably a lot of C++ stuff. So if you're into gaming, things like that, C++ would be a great language for you. For me, it's never going to really be the language that I go to do anything, but that's because I've just been mostly web-based, and C++ is not a web-based language. C#. So number two, C# is also kind of interchangeable with like VB.NET or any sort of technology that is .NET or .NET Core. C# makes this list at number 2 because of .NET Core, and a lot of people are adapting that. They're picking that up. Azure is hugely popular right now, so really the two huge cloud providers seem to be Azure and AWS, and so Azure's killing it with .NET, and you can use different operating systems with an Azure setup as well, but most people defer to the Microsoft technology and everything. But .NET Core is now open source, cross-platform, and it is gaining some steam. It's going to take probably a few more years before we see massive adoption of .NET Core, but it is gaining steam. All right, so number 1 on this list and this goes back to kind of the old reliable JavaScript. Like as a web developer, like there are so many web development jobs out there. There's so much job opportunities in any sort of JavaScript, subset or superset, or like there's just so much JavaScript stuff out there because it's the only language that all the operating systems can speak basically via the browser. So it runs in the browser. It's the way that we have all of our interactive content on the web, and it's the only one, like I said, it's the only language that you're going to write JavaScript that's going to run on Safari, and it's going to run on IE, and it's going to run on Chrome, and like it can run on your cell phone, or it can run on a desktop computer, but like JavaScript is what you're writing there, and maybe TypeScript too. But anyway, JavaScript definitely, I think it deserves to be number 1 still in 2019. So probably not the most predictable or unpredictable list, I guess. I don't think that there's any shockers or anything. People are going to ask, where's PHP? But if you look at the trends, PHP is like falling off. So I definitely don't have PHP on this top 10 list, but it would be somewhere like right outside of it, probably 11 or 12, something like that. And I guess you can make the same argument with something like Ruby, maybe even Perl too. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Take care. Bye.